Gentlemen, now that the dust has settled post-deadline, and with the second half of the season officially upon us, I want you guys to do some forecasting. Specifically, I want you each to give me one team that is currently in the postseason picture that will not end up making it, and one team currently on the outside looking in that will end up making the playoffs. The only rule is that none of you can pick the Chiefs, who would miss the playoffs if the season ended today, but will obviously be there when it's all said and done. I want to hear your postseason fakers and shakers. Wilk, you're up. Give me a team that's currently in the postseason picture that will not make it.
I'll go with the Steelers. I was definitely encouraged by what they did last week against the Colts and what was a pretty big upset win.
I called that one, by the way.
Did you?
I did. I said the Steelers are going to win because, come on.
Okay. I mean, fair. Good call.
You're going for his Oracle status.
Yeah, I know.
You got a ways to go.
It was a really impressive defensive performance, but one game, no matter the opponent, is not going to be enough for me to forget about everything that defense put on tape over the 2 months prior. Offensively, heading into the deadline, I thought it was absolutely imperative that they go out and get a number 2 receiver to line up opposite DK Metcalf. According to Adam Schefter, they were in the mix for Jacoby Myers until they ultimately got outbid by the Jaguars. And honestly, that's a little crazy to me because you are all in on this 1 year with Aaron Rodgers, probably the only year that you are going to get with him before he retires. You identify your top target to fill your biggest need ahead of the deadline, and 4th and 6th round picks are too much for you to go out and make that happen. I just don't get it, man. I don't understand what they're doing. I know Marquez Valdez-Scantling did some good things in New Orleans last year, to the surprise of many. I know he has a connection with Aaron Rodgers, but this cannot be the one move to address your biggest need. I just don't think that the Steelers have the firepower on offense to compensate for what is probably still going to be a really bad defense, and I think that comes back to bite them over the second half of the season when the schedule is pretty challenging.
T, who's your postseason faker?
I'm going to go with a surprising one here. I'm going with San Francisco, the 49ers. Wow. I know the schedule is really easy. There's a lot of cupcakes on it. I won't deny that. There's about 4 games that they have a good chance.
And they got a nice
everyone
little
would
cushion,
expect,
too.
Yeah, and a cushion that everyone would expect them to win. But here's the deal with this San Francisco team: injuries are a major, major, major problem. Like, you're without Nick Bosa for the rest of the season. You're without now Michael Williams, who tore his ACL. They just put Yetur Gross-Matos onto IR after he had a setback, and he had actually been playing really well since he arrived in San Francisco. So they're down to a depth chart.
the most important one
On the D line.
Oh, defense.
Yeah,
Fred Warner.
Yeah, Fred Warner out for the year for sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, you look at what they have now up front, and there's not a lot to be fearful of in the pass rush, like Bryce Huff being that top option. They added Keon White via trade with the Patriots. But I think any team that can't rush the passer at a high level is in trouble in terms of can lose to anybody. And then offensively, the run game has not been good. Christian McCaffrey is going to have his worst rushing season of his career on an efficiency basis, his lowest yards after contact per attempt. They're the worst rushing team in the NFL. I don't know if you guys can believe that. They're averaging 3.5 yards a carry.
It's hard to believe given how much production he's delivered overall.
And a light schedule, yes, because I think it's also concerning, you bring that up, that he's going to have the best receiving season of his career if he's healthy. Almost 1,200 receiving yards he's on pace for. Run game hasn't been good, 4th highest stuff rate as well. They're just not moving bodies up front. And yesterday, Kyle Shanahan was asked about Brandon Ayuk, and he said, yeah, it's likely he'll be back this year. Like, I got people in my fantasy league that drafted Brandon Ayuk in the 8th round thinking they got a steal. He might not even play a single game for your fantasy team. I think there's a lot of factors working against this team that is really well coached and does have a nice schedule, but I do think the way that they're playing and the way that they look and the way the injuries shake up, I think they can lose to anybody, and there's some teams in the NFC that can make up some ground.
Tough division,
I think the one counter, I mostly agree because those defensive injuries could really sink their entire season, but the one counter is that they've kind of weathered the storm so far to be in a position, and that's with Mac Jones. So they're going to get Brock Purdy back. They will get Ricky Pearsall back. I think that George Kittle will start to ramp up after missing the time that he did. So I think the offense will be great, at least the passing game element of it will. But yeah, I don't know what to expect of that defense because the entire thing was supposed to be built on a Nick Bosa-led pass rush and having the best linebacker in football, and those two being out. I'm just really surprised that they didn't make a more aggressive move beyond Keon White to upgrade the pass rush at the deadline.
Definitely.
Zachy, who's your postseason faker?
My postseason faker, sorry, T-Mac.
Oh, buddy, it's fine. I hope this happens.
I'm taking the Chargers. I don't think the Chargers are going to make the playoffs. Basically, if you assume that the Chiefs and the Ravens are going to be in the playoffs, you're going to have to take out two teams. Obviously, one of those teams I think will be the Steelers as well. The other team is between the Chargers and the Jaguars. The Jaguars kind of have a bit of an easy schedule coming up. They still have 2 games versus the Titans. They've got a game versus the Jets. They've got a game versus the Cardinals. And the Jags and the Chargers play, which I think will be really who decides who makes and who doesn't make the playoffs is between that game. That happens, I think, not this week, but the next week after that. The Chargers, obviously, the injuries on the offensive line are just absolutely devastating. They're trading for Trevor Penning for a 7th-round pick.
Good value. When was he drafted? First round talent for a 6th-round pick.
You see Joe Alt get carted off, just
Yeah,
incredibly sad. Yeah. Like the vibes are just really not good right now. I think it's kind of one of those things where you're going to look at the schedule and there's going to be one team that's going to surprise you that doesn't make the playoffs. And I think the most likely surprise is the Chargers.
Yeah, they've given themselves a good cushion. They're 6-3 at least. They probably could have a better record with a couple of bad losses, but I mean, we're talking about the guy they signed off the street who hadn't been with any organization during the month of September. He's hurt, and they're like going to tackle number 7.
Yeah,
this is a catastrophe.
It just it couldn't have shook out worse.
I did the Mekhi Becton rant again. Guy didn't play last week.
I feel like this is
moving him out to tackle.
This is like an annual tradition. At like week 9, you're like, oh, the Chargers are a catastrophe. I hope they miss the playoffs.
This time I really do, though. It sucks because Justin has his best supporting cast of his entire career. It's not close. Like Rondé Gadsden has broken out in a big way.
Although Quentin Johnson, after that hot start, is.
Yeah, but he's catching. Did you see that? Did you see that play down the sideline? Quentin Johnston of yesteryear does not make that play.
Keenan Allen's been really good.
Keenan Allen's turned back the
from
clock.
the dead. Yeah.
It sucks because this team could have been in good position if they were healthy. But now that they're not, I hope they lose every game.
On the flip side, then, let's talk about the postseason shakers, teams on the outside currently that are going to make it in your mind. Wilk, who's your shaker?
Yeah, I'll take the layup. It's the Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 3-5, but Lamar Jackson's back. Got that win on Thursday night against the Dolphins. They've got a chance to run off 4 more of those before they play the Steelers in early December. And I think after they beat the Steelers, then that's when we could see the standings atop the AFC North flip in the Ravens' favor. And I don't expect that they would be looking back after that. So I think that they come all the way back and the Steelers go out.
Yeah. What's amazing is how good their defense has been also over the last little while. Really shaky early in the season. They've given up 17 or fewer points over their last 3 games. Yeah, they're really scary now that Lamar is back. Who's your postseason shaker? I'm
going to go with another one that doesn't have the easiest of schedules, but I think that they're turning things around in a big way, and that's the Vikings. 4-4 right now. If I'm going to take out San Francisco, I need another NFC team.
That's tough.
And I think one big thing that's been a problem for Minnesota the last few weeks was their defense was not playing like the group Brian Flores coaches. They weren't stopping the run. Usually they're able to kind of stop the run, pin their ears back, and get after opposing quarterbacks, and they weren't able to do that the last number of weeks now. But I think that Andrew Van Ginkel's this key piece of their defense, and Brian Flores has, of course, been coaching back to their Miami days, that changes things for them. I thought they looked completely different against the run because of him being on the field for them, and obviously being able to stop the run puts opponents in more obvious passing downs, and Brian Flores is a great schemer when it comes to the blitz and in coverage. So I think that they're going to elevate in a big way in the second half and go back to being one of the league's top 10 units. That's the big key factor for this team because, of course, with J.J. McCarthy, you really don't know where the floor or the ceiling is right now. He's going to get the opportunity to work with that full skill position group. Didn't have Jordan Addison his first couple of weeks. This was the first game he got to play with them.
Aaron Jones returning to the lineup has been really valuable for them.
With Aaron Jones back too. There's a lot of question marks for this offense, but at the end of the day, they do have one of the best players in the entire league on offense for him to get the ball to. That's going to decide whether or not they can make this happen. But they have weathered the storm in some way at 500 that I still think it's on the table to go 10-7 and get into the postseason.
I mean, I like everything about this team. I love them heading into the season, like the defense, the way the offense is
Brian Kelly's going to be back.
The playmakers, but I don't know what to expect from J.J. McCarthy at this point. I really don't, and that's going to decide it. And if I had to lean one way, I would say that he's not it, just at least not yet.
Yeah. It's just hard to anoint him after the first really good game of his career.
It wasn't even.
That's the thing. It was unspectacular.
Which is kind of the book on J.J. McCarthy in general.
3 games in.
And it's even at Michigan, right? he was never really like blowing anybody away.
I think he still has every opportunity to be a really good starter in this league, but like what he's been doing so far this season gives me zero confidence about the Vikings being a contender at all this year. But
taking the shot on the
knows?
upside. We're just gonna take the shot.
Fair enough. Zachy, close it out. Who's your postseason shaker?
This one is a bit of a wishful thinking on my part, but I'm taking the Bears. They're just on the cusp of like being they're in the hunt graphic right now. I think.
Nice.
So I just love what I've seen from Ben Johnson so far. I think that he's really showed that he is going to be an incredible head coach in the league for a really long time. A lot of the things that he was doing in Detroit have transferred over perfectly to Chicago, especially the trick plays, which like if you look at the like effectiveness numbers on the trick plays, it's insane how well they work. Like I think it's like a point EPA like every single time they run a trick play. They ran the sort of double reverse to Caleb Williams where they scored the touchdown in the end zone. He runs it. Not only does he run the trick plays well, he knows the time when to do them. And you could also see the team just galvanizing around him. At the end of the last game, he was in the locker room and he was doing the like, don't apologize for a win after they have that incredible win at the end of the game. He, to me, genuinely feels like a real culture changer. And I feel like the players are completely bought in. And Caleb Williams is like, he can be a little up and down, but his ups are so exciting to watch. So I think the Bears could be a sneaky team that breaks into the playoffs.
I like it, but oh my God, you better apologize for what the defense looked like against the Bengals. What was it, 42 points? I would have been way more in on the Bears if they found a way to go get an edge rusher at the deadline. Just do something to that defense. Like if that defense is going to be the same as it was over the first half, I think
it's hard
very
for
concerned
them because they're not there yet. Like unless they make a move that's like more long term. If you don't have Jalen Johnson, it's going to be really tough as it is. And I don't even know if Johnson will be back at all this year.
Yeah, it's just like I know it's harder for teams like that to justify the moves that like the Eagles can justify when you have like when Howie Roseman has really stockpiled all these picks that he has over the years, and it's easier to part with them when you have so many. But just thinking of like a third-round pick for like a Jalen Phillips type that could really elevate that defense for them to just end up settling for Joe Tryon Shoyinka as their one addition on the edge of the deadline is a little underwhelming for me.
Yeah, look, they're giving up 28 points a game. The best team that they've beaten this year is Dallas, and their schedule is not easy. They got to play Green Bay twice. They got to play the Eagles, and they close out against the Lions. That is a tall task for a team.
Ben Johnson gets
Jonah,
the big bucks.
can I say something?
Go.
I got the last pick in this draft. All right, so like take it a little easy on me. We already had the Chiefs crossed off the board. I had to pick a team. All right?
Yeah, I did take the easy one. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's true. You took the layup. Great stuff, guys. All right.